So Danny, the end of the 24-25 season for the under-19s, what do you make of it overall?
I mean, first and foremost, the boys are devastated at losing that game of football when they fully deserve to get something out of the game. And I think the message is that they can be proud of their season. It's one of them where, as a collective staff unit, like, this is from the heart as well. You know, they've been an absolute pleasure to work with this season. The work they put in, day out for the football club and for themselves and for their development. One as individuals, but one as individuals that are part of the team. And the message to them after that game was, get your heads up, because we understand why their heads are down, because it's important to have that winning mentality, to want to win. But as long as it doesn't come at the expense of not working hard at trying to be the best that you can be, both as an individual and as a team. And they've had that in abundance this season. So just fell short in terms of achieving our team target, which was being within the top three as a minimum. But I think even with the points that we've got, there were a couple of games throughout. One, I think we didn't get our first point until the fourth game of the season. And there's probably other games as well when the lads were in good form. I mean, games we can probably remember Dorking, Oxford and Woking, where we had Woking and Oxford. You know, we win the game by 2 goals going into the latter stages of them 2 games. And then also the Dorking game where they equalised in the 95th minute. So really, but that's football, that happens. But there's probably been them moments throughout the season where maybe just a little bit of concentration. We probably would have finished, maybe had a chance of winning the league. And that's how well the boys have played this season. And I think also how competitive they've been throughout the games programme. So I think the message to them is be proud.
And then looking at sort of, you said about the close games and coming out in the fine margins, things like that. What sort of lessons do you want the boys to sort of learn from being so close in these games and just falling short?
Yeah, 2 things. I think, or maybe 3 things. I think first thing is probably, in all the games this season, the lads have created many chances to score more goals in games. So one, being more clinical and converting more of the chances that they've created through good play. Some of the stuff that they've played this season has been a joy to watch in terms of how they've created goal scoring opportunities. But definitely scoring more of their chances. An example there at the end, just a concentration thing. So, I mean, physically they're a very, very fit group, and we're relentless in terms of how we work and day in, day out, and what we demand from them and what they demand from each other. But it's also a fitness thing in terms of mental concentration. So a bit of decision making sometimes, and like their 2 goals today have come, within the first minute of the game and the last kick of the game, where we should have. There's a time and a place. We want to play football. We want to get the ball down and play. But there's a time and a place sometimes just to hit areas, get up the pitch and play from there. And I think the third thing would be, just to finish on that note, is there's probably been many goals that we've conceded this year, which have been necessary not through good attacking play from the opposition. It's been probably more from stuff that we could have controlled better. They're at the stage of their career where it's about, first and foremost, we want players to have that winning mentality and that winning mindset, but not at the expense of, like you say, developing players, developing people, and learning. So eventually, when they do go on and have long careers in the game, which they've got to have that belief that they can do that, and that's when it really matters, when it's their job and it's their careers and it's at first team level, at whatever level of the game, whether it's Premiership, Championship, League One, League Two, National League, even down to Ishman League, Step 5, Step 6. That's when it matters. They need to understand that all these experiences that they're getting at the moment, they're all learning experiences that hopefully in the long term will help them go on and have good long careers in the game.
The academy here has a reputation for developing some really solid players that, as you say, go on to make careers for themselves in the Football League and in the Premier League. How much can the players take from this season as positive and transition it into the rest of their careers and moving on, particularly the scholars that will be at the end of their contracts?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, and that's probably always our message, a consistent message to the boys is, even though we want them to have that winning mentality to win games of football, not at the expense of playing well first and foremost, but for us as staff, when you see a player that's come through the youth system, and we want players, we're here to support South United, and also Kevin Mayer, the gaffer, and his staff, Daz and Benno, in terms of supporting them and hopefully along the way developing players to long term step into that first team first and foremost at this football club. And even now, you know, you've got the likes of Colin, you've got Bridgie, and you've got Cokes that are all in that first team environment at the moment. And for me, and not just for me, but for all the staff, because it's a collective staff unit that we have here, it's not just about one person. When we see the likes of Colin, Cokes and Bridgie, when we see him step on that pitch and play for the first team, even now, it's still a proud moment. One, I think, for them as players, but also for us as staff. And what I will say about this group of players this season is all of them have shown that they've got the potential to have good careers in the game. And who knows? Who knows? But that's the important thing for them. And it's not easy. It's not easy having a career in the game. It's not easy. So the mental side of it is just as important as the technical and the tactical. But for us as staff, there's no better feeling throughout the academy. There's no better feeling seeing a youth product or a youth player, whether it be 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it might be. There's no better feeling. And the feeling that we get inside of us, it means a lot.
And then just finally, Jack Stone has obviously won the U19s Player of the Year for 2024-25. What do you make of the season that he's had and also his development going forwards?
Yeah, he's had a really good season. You know, Stoney's a local lad. He come into us from Bowes and Pitsea last season, so he was somebody that come into the system later than others, or usually than what others maybe do. When we offered a third year, end of last season, because he was a second year last year, when we offered him a third year, he wasn't sure as to what he was going to do. He had some offers from other clubs, but I think he enjoyed his first season here so much that he stayed, and his game has gone from strength to strength, like all the players have. But in terms of Stoney, like you ask, we're developing individuals to play within the team, and his all-round game, even though he's scored, I think, across the 2 seasons that he's been here, including the 2 pre-seasons, he's scored 73, 74 goals, which is a great return. That does include, obviously, both pre-seasons as well. But his all-round game, in terms of that, has developed. You know, in terms of, even though he can score goals, he's his work out of possession, his intensity to press from the front, controlled aggression. If he's not pressing, he'll drop in and make the team compact. And in general as well, one of the things with Stoney last year is he felt that his game was just based on goals. So at times he was probably trying to take opportunities. Would have been better to maybe to assist or equate for somebody else. And that's another part of his game this year, because he's got a lot of assists as well. And that's another part of his game that's improved so much. And as a collective staff, there's only so much that we can do. Ultimately, it comes down to the player themselves in terms of how much they want to progress and how much they want to learn. So full credit to Stoney, because his game has developed a lot since he first come in last season, and the credit should go to him, and the credit should go to all the players, because ultimately, as coaches, we do help a little bit, but ultimately it's about them. They're the ones that are putting the work in, and ultimately it's about how much they want it and how much they want to develop. And for Stoney, in terms of going forwards, he's had a very, very good season, and hopefully if he keeps on continuing and developing like he has this season, which is something that we said to him, who knows what level he could end up playing at. Hopefully it's a bright future, hopefully.